What's up? What's up, y'all? Usually I don't make videos. I usually make them when I'm, doing what I'm doing. You know what I'm saying? So this video was kind of like something that strikes a nerve to me, and I feel like I need to express this. You know, this show that I do it's therapy for me. Not only is it therapy for me, it's also to help people who went through certain situations, whether that's child abuse, being homeless, trying to figure out life all over again, being broke, losing family, or a divorce, separation, whatever have you. That's what this particular channel is about. So when I speak on things that I went through, these are things that I went through, and I have no problem talking about it because the biggest outlet is you releasing it, because then somebody tries to come back to you and try to tell you about yourself. You really ain't got nothing to hide, and there's nobody that can expose you for situations that you've gotten over, and it doesn't bother you, it doesn't hurt you once it's out in the air. You know what I mean? A lot of people in this world have gone through things in their life that they've never gotten fixed, healed from, or dealt with, and it's kind of unfortunate because they've taken so much of that time trying to hold on to all of whatever it is, their baggage of personal issues, and never been able to be themselves around people, and eventually don't know why people don't want to stay around for a certain amount of time or don't have a connection with them. The reason for that is because at the end of the day, it's really hard to get to somebody and have a conversation with somebody when they're literally in their head 9 times out of 10, because they don't know how to release their own emotions and really be honest and open with people. You know what I mean? And that's the terrible part of certain situations. And you lose so much of a connection with people when they do that. And I know because I've been there at one point when I was going through situations when I lost my kids for about 8 years, and only seeing them about 3 times out the year. It makes your heart harden. You know what I'm saying? To where you get to a point where you just feel like you don't want to speak about it, or when there's a moment where it hits a pinched nerve, it kind of makes you kind of uncomfortable. It makes you upset, makes you aggravated, whatever the case may be. The difference about it is when I was going through that, I decided to go to therapy about it. I went to church about it. I asked God first for help, and then everything else followed. The number one thing that I don't see in a lot of situations with certain people, with certain individuals that I've grown up with, is that, they didn't try to seek help. They try to give themselves their own medicine, and that doesn't work. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, self-medication, either through gossip or always worrying about the world's coming to an end or things of that nature, is always something negative. It's never nothing positive. It's never a positive situation. There's always something to complain about. And when you hear more of that, more than just having a conversation with your loved ones, it puts you in a space of saying to yourself, once you get out of that, because once you get out of that bubble of realizing what that situation is, you don't want to be a part of it anymore. You know what I mean? Not saying you don't want to be a part of them. You love them no matter what the situation is. But just to have that type of energy around doesn't benefit anything. You know what I mean? And the moment that happens, it's kind of like you got to say to yourself, am I going to stay in this situation, in this bubble? Can I try to help the person? You could give a person advice a million times over and over again. That doesn't mean they're going to listen to you. The same way if somebody tells you, oh, don't say this and don't say that, or keep this, then keep that. The same way you ain't listening to me, I'm not going to listen to you. I'm going to do what I want to do on this situation. I don't give a situation for you to say. I don't go to people and be like, yo, go listen to my channel, friends and family. I don't tell anybody, and nobody knows about this at all. This is literally something that I do because I wanted to grow a whole new branch. Nobody told you to click on my videos. You don't like my videos, you don't have to watch them. You know what I'm saying? If it's too much if it takes you to a place of what you don't like listening to, or you feel like there's situations that you didn't like at one point, and everybody had to be on hush hush because it was because of what that person said, I'm not that person no more. I'm back to who I used to be before all the trauma, before all the situations, everything that happened to me 8 years ago. I'm not that person no more. You know what I mean? I'm at a point in my life where I can talk and say what I need to say, and I can express what I need to express, not just for myself, for my own sanity, but to also help others who may be feeling the same way I'm feeling. You know, I'm sorry that's the case, but you don't have to look at this channel at all. You don't have to look at any of my videos at all. You know what I'm saying? And if it's too much for you and if you think it's too personal, hey, I'm sorry. This is my story and this is my truth. And this is how I look at it and this is how I express it. It is what it is, you know, and I have no problem doing that because I'm free from all of those things. I'm free from the chains of my past with me and the mother of my kids. That's done. Things of my number one thing I'm doing now that I have been doing since I've gotten here and doing this thing is killing generational curses. My creed of growing up, I never agreed with. So this situation I'm doing here, moving forward, is a whole different